We're headed to Effingham, Illinois to host our first mastery class. Now, the goal behind these mastery classes is that we focus on one area and we perfect that one area. And the concept for this class is going to be arm bars. We're going to focus on arm bars for the entire 3 hours. All the concepts, not just static drilling, not just showing up and showing you how to do an arm bar and you drilling that a few times with your partner, not really getting it, and then from there, forgetting what you did or not being able to apply it. The concept behind these mastery classes is that you improve. So how that works is we're going to go around the room, we're going to introduce ourselves, we're going to talk about what we think about the techniques, where we think we're at in the techniques, and we're going to listen to everybody in the room so that you get a better understanding of everyone's journey, how long they've trained, how long they've been around jiu-jitsu, how they feel like they are having success or failures within those mastery camps. And I want you to think about the goal here is that we engage with each other, right? We don't just show up and we listen to an instructor teach the entire class, and then after that instructor teaches the entire class, he collects your money and leaves. The goal is that we all together work together, we vocalize where we're at, what success we're having, where we see things that we can immediately apply in our game. And when we talk to everybody in the room about those things, then it's not just the instructor giving his point of view. It's all 10, 12, 20 students actually applying the life lessons that they're learning in that moment. And then each person can learn from somebody else within that room. So I just kind of want to see how this mastery class goes today. And I hope that you can take one thing away from just this video. And if you do take something away from this video, I highly encourage you that you follow us in the future and make sure that you look into our mastery classes and join us. So let's dive in and get started. All right, I really appreciate you guys being here. I want to create these mastery classes and make them bigger. And I want to open up, I want to discuss things. I don't want it to just be my point of view and what I know about arm bars. I want you guys to learn things as we go through the course and add your thought process to it, okay? I don't want you to feel like it's just my knowledge is the only knowledge, okay? We have brown belts, we have people that are completely new, a few months old. We have people that have been in the sport 10 plus years, okay? And if we work together, right, and we kind of just explain our experiences, because here's the thing, like with the new games that we've been doing in class, right, if I teach you a rear naked choke and I teach you the back control, okay, and then you go live with it, you don't have any experience whatsoever on how to actually contain the back and submit the opponent. So I'm giving you only 1% of the puzzle and expecting you to finish the puzzle. But now if we can add all the concepts together, okay, of how to contain the back, how to hold the back, what to do, you feel the resistance. Now when you get to the back, just adding the rear naked choke is the easiest piece. So I feel like a lot of instructors do it backwards. They static drill, and then you have no real experience on how to maintain that position to actually submit your opponents, okay? So what you have to be thinking about is I want you guys to write down like your name, and what you know about arm bars, okay? I want you to write down what you know about arm bars, what you think about arm bars, okay? And then what you feel like you're good at with arm bars and what you're bad at with arm bars. I want to spend 5 minutes on this, okay? And just your name, first name, last name, all right? Let's put in there how long you've been training, grappling, how long you've been grappling, not jiu-jitsu, okay? And I want you to put in, this is what I know about arm bars, and this is where I think I'm good at arm bars, and this is where I think I'm bad at arm bars, okay? And like, take a moment and think about the details. Don't just give the same existing answer like when you show up to class and you're like, well, I suck at arm bars, or I don't know anything, I need to learn better, or I need to learn everything, right? Think about, hey, when I do an arm bar, the elbow always falls out. When I do an arm bar, I always get stacked, When I do an arm bar, I can never control the person's posture, okay? Things that you see success at and things that you see failure at in the technique.
As far as arm bars, I have some of the basics, but have trouble catching them live. I have no experience with no gi. I get stacked a lot when attempting arm bars. I catch them better from throws or strikes.
So my name's Anthony Dust. I've been grappling for approximately 2 months. My understanding is an armbar is submission by hyperextended elbow. I get stacked. I haven't tried it a lot, but I've gotten stacked when I did. I don't really know the entries, and I don't know how to finish it.
Derek Harris, been training 10 plus years. Statistic-wise, arm bars are the most used submission in all tournaments, which means they're the submission that fails the most out of any of them as well. Arm bars can be scary because when you lose the submission, you're in a non-dominant position, typically side control. Need to become better at controlling the elbow to get the finish of the arm bar.
I'm Jen Tolles. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for almost a year now. The only time I'm successful with the arm bar is if someone is just straight arm choking me from being in my full guard. I always tend to get stacked. I have been successful with like flower sweep to arm bar. That was like sort of on accident. I think my biggest hurdle is being afraid to give up the position for armbar because the other person often escapes.
Hi, I'm Janessa Norton. I have been doing jiu-jitsu for about 4 years. Arm bars have been really helpful for me, and I am good at them from side control and mount, and it helps because I'm really quick, but my trouble spots are seeing when to do them, and sometimes I can be a little hesitant with them.
My name is Blake McNelly. I've been training for 7 years in jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and MMA. I think I'm probably good at snapping down from standing in arm bars from guard, arm bars from mount, and arm bars from half guard with the underhook. I think I struggle to maintain arm bar positions when I get in a fight, and I'm really tired of late in the second or third round, and I have it fully locked in, and it's just not tapping. I've been in a position before where I was about to break his arm, he didn't tap, and it was just popping, and I just couldn't keep it tight enough. But
my name is Elijah Banton. I've been training for about 1 year in jiu-jitsu. I'd say my weakness is losing the elbow line. I kind of focus more on extending more than maintaining the position. That's something that I need to work on. And also getting hyper-focused on going down one track when I should be looking to maintain the position in different ways. I have a very basic understanding of arm bars. I'm not very great at them. I usually use them if I'm using them in the guard to transition into the legs when they go to stack me. I'd say my strength with arm bars, or the best place for me to hit an arm bar, is a far side spin and top side control to an arm bar. That's where I would hit it the most. But other than that, yeah, I have a very basic understanding.
All right, well, I'm Josh Beasley. Been training about 16 years, 14 of that being wrestling and 2 of it being jiu-jitsu. Not really big on arm bars or anything like that, but I'd say my biggest success would be, I don't even know what you'd call it. I just call it a belly down arm bar. I seem to get to that position a lot if I'm on the back and I just get too high, and they're in like a turtle position or something. But that's about the most knowledge of an arm bar I have. I'm not the greatest at guard positioning, so my closed guard arm bars or attacks and entries to arm bars are not the greatest. And I probably won't get better at that because I have really bad knees, but we'll figure it out.
My name's Ian Cheney. I've been training about 13 years. I'm better at arm bars from the top, like from mount or side control. I have on the bottom, I get stacked, or they pop their head out, the elbow slips out. And some of the things that I need to work on, like the grip breaks. I know the different like leg configurations, and I'm trying to understand. Like I think they call it the arm saddle, like the underhook arm bars. Yeah, I mostly have most of my success from the top. Like from the bottom, I'm not as good.
My name is Robert Atchison. I've been training off and on for several years. I did Hapkido. I trained at a couple MMA gyms, and just in Jiu-Jitsu, I've been doing it about 4 years. The main place I throw arm bars is from mount. I have a lot of success from setting them up, like from an S mount or from a high mount, but in just a regular normal mount where my hips are down, I have a lot of time setting those up. And I really struggle with unlocking the hands. Once I grab the arm bar and I get my legs set, I can't really break the hands apart. I used to just switch to something else. Even if I do get the hands unlocked, I don't lay back with them a lot because people roll with me. I usually just lean forward over top of them and finish them like that. I rarely throw them from guard because almost everybody gets out or stacks me like everybody else. Mainly if I hit them from guard, I do it from a triangle position where I can control the posture and control the arm really well.
All right, I really appreciate you guys sharing. Now, I want to ask one thing. How many of you were nervous when you shared? Raise your hand. Okay. So, arm bars, right, or training or all these things are the same thing. Your confidence level matters to having success, right? You're going to have success on the mats, you're going to have success in life, the more confident you are going into those situations. I mean, that just makes sense. So like when you're throwing arm bars, you're not confident in throwing the arm bar. You're already thinking the negative before you throw it. And then if you think about that in other areas of the sport or other areas of your life, right, then you kind of see why some of the mistakes happen. So I just want you to think about that. Now, how many people have hit an arm bar in tournament or a cage fight and finished it? Okay, so let's work on, yeah, I remember that was Indy, right? That was a good one. All right, so let's work on one thing right now, which is I heard a lot of people saying they're getting stacked and they're losing the elbow line, okay? So I want to do 3 different grip entries that we're gonna work on with the gi. And then once you get that, I want you to control that for as long as you can until we lose the elbow line, okay? It's really important that we're learning to shoot our hips up in the air when we're doing arm bars, okay? I see a lot of people keeping their hips on the ground and trying to throw the arm bar and keeping their butt on the ground, okay? I also see a lot of people that cross their feet, and I see a lot of people allow themselves to already be getting stacked as soon as they're throwing the arm bar, okay? And the crucial thing here is let's do a couple different grips here. Grip 1, I want up high, okay? Grip 2, I want down low on this seam, all right? And then grip 3, I want 2-on-1 with the wrist. Make sense? So grip 1 entry, grip 2 entry, grip 3 entry. I want you to do the arm bars from all 3 of these. So what we're gonna do for the first one is I'm gonna go up in the collar. I'm gonna get Derek's butt to start coming forward, okay? And then I wanna work on bringing Derek's arm to me with my legs, okay? So how that's gonna look is we're gonna come under, we're gonna pull him forward, and then I want to learn to move my hips, okay? Up. So don't try to do it like this, okay? Don't do it like this. See how my hips are on the ground? Take your pelvic and have it come up into the armpit and have the arm come to you, okay? So if Derek's hand's on the mat, right? I want to bring his arm to me, okay? So then once I bring it to me, we're pointing the toes down. Don't do this, okay? You want to engage your calves. So if you point your toes down, it engages the front muscle, which actually creates no pressure to actually stop the stack. We point the toes backwards, it engages our calf, and it actually allows us to bite down. Where if I do this, it's not the same pressure. Okay? So, neck good? Yep. All right, so make sure when you're shooting this, hips up. Got it? Okay. Then bite, bite, practice this. Pinch here. Okay. Let me know if you need a different partner, buddy. So, okay. I have to make sure, all right? Elbow, belly button. Okay? My elbow is connecting to my belly button. So if the elbow's here, anywhere past the belly button, you got to figure out how you're setting it up better. Okay? So that entry, same thing with this entry. Okay? I'm lifting. Okay? I like this entry too because he can't clear the elbow when I'm throwing the arm bar. Right? Here, if I'm being lazy with my hips, he can clear the elbow. Not that it's the end of the world because we can go to the next series. But when I hold here, no matter what, even if he postures up, right, I still have the arm that I can pull it back in and keep the arm. So I like that seam really good. Okay? The only other one is a lot of times they're here, right? You can do 2-on-1 sleeves or 2-on-1 wrist. And then I can start to pull the arm to my ear so that I can start to throw it over. Okay? So I want you to play with those 3 entries. If you notice, my butt never on the ground. Okay? Now, I want you to curl your toes. I want you to work on this. Okay? So the 3 entries you're going to practice, right? 1, 2, 3. Then I want you to maintain, okay? The setup, maintain the position. So what I mean by this is this leg, curl, control. This leg, curl, control. I'm trying to make my heels tight, squeeze to my butt, right? I'm lifting here, pinching, knees together, keeping the toes up. And all I want your partner to do is try to stack you and try to clear your elbow. Okay? Every time. So you're going to do entry 1. Get here. Most people are only going to be able to contain this for 20 or 30 seconds max. Okay? So I want Derek to start to stack me, and I want you to put your hands right in front of your knees. Okay? And I want him to clear his elbow. Right? Until he clears it. Get it out. You can stack and you can clear. That's it. Okay? I want you to work on how long you can contain each one of those. Your legs are going to be dead after this. Okay? But that's what's going to happen in a real match. So, throw the entry. Frame, if you noticed. Okay? Frame on the legs. Don't let them put your legs into your face. You're going to get the arm lost every time. Keep your hips up, biting down, just like this. Okay? And then from that, block so they can't fully stack you. You want to keep your knees in contact with your hips the whole time. If your knees are here, you're going to lose power. If your knees are here, you're going to lose strength. Okay? Keep them in line, biting down, pinching the knees. This is one of my highest success arm bars in tournament, was getting up here. Don't go low here. People are going to break the grip. Up here, right, where I'm controlling your posture. And I'm bringing you around, okay? Now, I don't care because even if I open my guard, once I underhook this leg, right, you can't just back out. You can't just stand up. Does that make sense? So my legs can be open freely here. Now I need to bring your arm to me, right? Right? Once I bring my arm to you, pinch, pinch. Now, get your elbow out. Stack me. I'll let you have it. Okay? You've got to train your body to keep that squeeze the entire time. Okay? And you got to find a way to do it where your legs aren't engaged to the point where they're dead. All right? So, behind, over, 2-on-1 sleeve or wrist. All right? So, this is probably going to be the most valuable, just controlling that elbow line and not getting stacked. If you can take 2 of those things away where they don't let them stack you anymore, and keeping the elbow line. All right? You'll have more success. All right, get your partners. Let's go. Toes up, heels down. Remember, push in front of your legs. He's stacking you now, so take your hand, push your legs back so you don't have that stacking killing your back, right? And then let him get his elbow out. Don't let him, but like try to see how much you can maintain that position. So real quick, let's go back. Let's set it up again.
It's hard to get out in the looks.
Well, it should be impossible eventually. So let's get the arm. 2 on one hand, behind the seam, over the neck. Okay, so that's kind of far. What you want to be doing is more keeping it to you, right? And going towards the shoulder as you're throwing the arm or the leg over. Yes, yes, yes. Now, slow down, because you've already lost the elbow. Do you notice that? Right? So we've got to make sure we're not losing the elbow, and we don't want to necessarily finish the arm bar, right? We want to just make sure the elbow stays on our belly button the entire time. So let's try to get it this time. Yep, better, better. Now, look at where our knees are and look at where our hips are and how off-centered we are, right? You feel uncomfortable, right? Okay, now work on that and see what it feels like. Don't try to finish the arm bar. Just try not to let Robert stack you, all right? Put your hands on your legs, right? There. Push him back away, okay? So until he clears the elbow line, right? The more that we stack, especially the older we are, the more that the knees start coming to our face, the more we're gonna lose it no matter what. So the elbow should be contained from the pinch of the knees and the squeeze of the legs. The stack should be contained from our arms if it's getting bad. So.
It's harder than it looks.
It took 30,000 reps, but I finally got it. So don't worry about, yep, that's good. Now this controls the head. This controls the posture. This controls the head. Remember, toes up. Toes like trying to come back to you. Bite down. All right, now let her start to get her arm out. Don't worry about finishing it. Just let her, yep, don't let her stack you. See how long your legs can last. If it takes 20 seconds for your legs to finally give out, it's 20 seconds. Don't let up your pressure so your person frees their arm. Their arm's gonna come free, I promise. You're not gonna squeeze for 4 days. If you do, you have the best arm bar in the world. And then, yep, whatever way you can figure out how to stack him or get out of there. So, but you see how, look how people, what I will have with my armbar experiences is people will fall over because the pressure will be so tight sometimes that they'll just fall down to their back. And then it's even better. How do you feel about that squeeze? Do you feel like it maintains it better?
Yeah. I'm not getting a good. The elbow's too short to begin with, is what I'm noticing. Like you said, you're saying elbow in the belly button.
Yeah.
It's always down in my crotch.
What do you think it is that's doing that?
Probably not collecting it enough.
Okay, let's try it again. I want you guys to be honest with me on stuff. Don't hide your feelings in if you're like, this is dog shit, this doesn't work for me. Everybody's body is different. So what I do is not going to be the same as what you guys do sometimes. Uh-huh.
You want him to put the hand on the mat?
I don't need him to, but it helps. But what I really need to do is try to take my private area and shove it up into his armpit. That's where I'm going to have the most success. Shoot my hips up, then around. Yes. Do you see the difference there?
Yeah. So the elbow, I'm doing it where it's like in there versus that's the hip height.
Yes. Almost like you're going to backward roll, right? Like we're going to do a half backward roll, and then we're going to get the leg over the head. Now squeeze, pinch, yep. Toes backwards.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that. I didn't realize it.
Do you feel when you pull the toes backwards how your calves automatically engage? Everyone does it that way because it feels like it wants to push down. But what you don't realize is it takes the pressure off the actual calf pushing you down. Yes. Yeah. So what I want you to do is not work on trying to do it the way that I would do it. I want you to try to do it where you're going to get the best possible bite, right, and the best leg engagement. So how I mean with that is hook under the leg, cut the angle, okay, and get them broke down before. Like get it everything where it feels the best for you, and then analyze that and take it backwards. 2, we're gonna go to the traditional concept, okay, where we're gonna grab over like the old school way, right? Grab the gi, okay? Grab the gi, pull the elbow right to your belly button. All right? In no gi, you're gonna grab the wrist, you're gonna cut the elbow down, and you're gonna hold it to your belly button. Glue it to your belly button. Because I see a lot of people having struggles with controlling your opponent's posture. Okay? So now I want to step here, and my knee is going to reinforce the shoulder. Okay? Then I want this leg to try to touch that leg. Okay? Activate, squeeze, everything you have here. All right? That way now when Derek tries to get his arm back, okay, this leg's reinforcing this. Okay? So, and I'm still holding on to the gi or the 2-on-1 grip. Then I'm going to take the leg out. I'm going to shave the ear, shave the face, bite down. Okay? Then curl the toes back. Now, do you see the difference in the posture control and the angle? This way, let's start with this and now get the arm free and don't let them stack you. Okay, do you see how much control? I can show you guys 100 setups, but if I don't put you with the live resistance and how long we can control that position for, we're not going to gain it. So this is like, I think Brandon Wells, this is the way that he likes to go for the old school arm bars. Okay, this grip, elbow on the belly button. Okay, step, push, create the angle so I'm looking at Derek's ear. Here, don't throw way over here like you guys are doing, okay? You can finish the arm bar just like this, right? If I have it glued here, I can pop the elbow just by lifting my hips into it this way. So the key is I don't want to go where I swing my leg and he can take this arm over here and grab my leg, and now I'm kind of dealing with this, okay? I want, as he's grabbing the leg, right, it's like shaving the head and then boom, right? Then maintain this, squeeze this, okay? Try that and see how well that controls your opponent's posture. So grab the fabric as good as you can. Don't like really wrap your hand around that. Yep. Now pick the elbow up and put it right on your belly button. Now left foot steps to the hip. Okay. Use the left foot to keep pinching against that shoulder. Right foot starts to push into him and create the angle where you can start. So, yep. Push it like towards the wall there and then bite down on the back. See how we have the angle now? That's the angle we want. So now bite down with the leg. Yep. So here, there you go. Right? Now take that other leg, start shaving over the head. Yep. Now remember, don't cross the feet because that allows us to get stacked. We gotta relax, just relax, breathe, right? We want to breathe through all of these things. We don't want to be squeezing too tight, all right? Now, pinch the knees. Good. Now, toes back, heels up. Okay, now let go of the arm. Okay, now squeeze with just the legs. Okay. Do you guys see when you're getting your arms out, the opportunity where it's really tight and you feel like someone wanted to really commit that hand fully to your body, how easy it would be to pop it? So, you got to relax in that tension though. You still, you're 2 months in, so I get it. But, that's where I was too in the beginning, where it's like you use so much energy when you don't need to use it, so then you almost don't have any energy when it's actually time to use it, if that makes sense. So, you were squeezing that whole time and breathing heavy when getting into the arm bar should be relaxed, not forced, right? That way when you're actually ready to attack, you're not exhausted and tired. Yep, is that elbow on your belly button? There you go. Yep. Yep. Now, knees together. Yep. There you go. Yep. See how much better we have on controlling the posture? So, yeah. Sometimes we're putting ourselves at such a disadvantage right in the beginning that we don't have a chance at winning. So, one is the belly down concept, and then the other is the roll through concept. Okay? So, everybody knows how to finish an arm bar, I hope. I mean, it's kind of simple. The best thing that I can tell you is if you want to turn me this way.
This way?
Well, now turn me all the way around. Keep going.
You want to go this way. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can go either way, whatever gets there. Okay? So, here's what I want you guys to think about, okay? When I arm bar Derek, right? Look at his arm. If I do it traditionally like this, everyone's trying to arm bar finish like this. Okay? Do you see how his arm's rested comfortably here? He's going to be able to turn his thumb upside down. He's going to be able to defend this. It's going to be very hard for me to break his arm. Okay? But, come back up, right? If I do this, okay? Now look at his arm. It can't even come close to my stomach. Okay? That means I'm doing everything right. You should, if I knock Derek over, right? And I'm squeezing this, okay? Like this. Do you see his arm cannot even come to my body? I see so many people doing the arm bar, and it's like this. And they're pulling on the arm, and they're wondering why it's not getting finished. Okay? It's because the squeeze and the pressure is all off. So now I'm going to have to use everything I have to try to break his arm. Does that make sense? Compared to squeezing, okay? And now it's like this, and I haven't even lifted my hips yet. I haven't even put my body into it yet. I'm just trying to get his arm to glue to my body. Okay? So I want you guys to be thinking about that when you're arm barring each other. Is the arm stuck in the air and there's 4 inches there to break it? Or is it laying on your body and you're now going to have to figure out how to use your whole body to break the arm? So we're going to go up. We're going to bite down. Now, I'm going to have the arm, and as Derek stacks into me, right, as he comes into me, I'm going to circle right here, right? I'm going to take my arm right here. It's going to come by like you're going to do like the ghost escape, and then you're going to go belly down right here. Okay? Now that I've went here, you're going to have a couple different things happen. You're either going to get the arm bar because you can send your hips all the way through it, or Derek's going to forward roll. And then you're going to come into this arm bar. Again, look at how his arm cannot connect to my body. And that if I was to connect his arm to my body, he's going to tap before I even start to drive my hips up. Okay? Ask yourself when you guys are going to do these two things, are they going to tap by just bringing the arm to me, or are they going to tap when I have to actually put work into bridging and doing all this? Because if you have to rely only on the bridge, it's going to be hard to stop them from escaping. Okay? So, over, right? They're going to stack us. We're going to control the arm. We're going to continue to spin under. We're going to pinch here. I'm pinching here. And a lot of times, like, I can get the arm bar right here by just hipping in. Okay? So, get them to stop right here. Keep the arm glued to you. Finish the arm bar, right? As soon as they tap, let them roll through. When they roll through, ask yourself when you're pinching if it still has that distance. Everyone understand that? Okay, so there's 2 arm bar finishes I want there, as nice as possible on each other. And then the other one, okay, if you noticed, every time I've done the setup on Derek, what have I done? A different grip. Well, I have done the same side. That wasn't good. I can always count on Josh.
You're on bottom, too.
I've grabbed a different grip. I've grabbed this grip one time. I've grabbed this grip one time. I've grabbed this grip one time. Teach yourself to make habits of grabbing different grips, right? And getting into the armbar. Make sense? That way you're just getting in a habit of grabbing these tools. Now, we've done the stack where we go under, right? Now I'm just gonna do the hook the leg, and I'm gonna drop Derek over, okay? Now I'm here, pinching, that when I go back for the armbar, don't go for the finish yet. What I want you to do is as you're going back, look at if you have that space to finish the arm, right? As I go back, would it have tapped? Or as I go back, would it been like this, right? Because if it's like this, as I'm rolling him, I'm not gonna finish his armbar unless I can suck his arm all the way back up and then get it. So as I'm knocking him over, am I containing that really tight pressure close to him so that as I fall back, keeping this arm glued to me, he's gonna tap really quick? Or as I fall back, I'm gonna now have to figure out how to contain this and armbar him, right? Because if I'm doing it right, and I really just knock this person over and turn him and I'm pinching, as I come here, he's already, see, wanting to come up and tap. That's what you want. You want those people to be so scared that it's so tight that they're ready to tap instead of thinking, I'm ready to escape. You want panic in them the whole time, so they're thinking about tapping, not defending. Your arm feel good? Yeah. When I did that 6-hour instructional on Brandon, he complained about his arm for like a week. All right, so this one, under. Derek stacks me. Roll, 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 roll. Pinch. Armbar. Get him to tap, right? Roll. Pinch. Just bringing it to me. Taps. Roll. Pull. See? I was gentle, I think. All right, you guys get the point. Be nice to each other. All right, got it? Sir. All right, let's go. Get him through it. Yes, 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 perfect. See the difference? All right, did you see how he kind of went with that? Okay, don't put too much pressure on yourself. This is a lot of knowledge for 2 months, you know? So. Well, it really does help having like the right training partner that knows how to position themselves. And 2 months is just not a lot of understanding of your base to know like not to fall over in certain ways. Yep. Yep. Now let go of the arm. Take your right arm, go underneath his hip. Yep. Bring it all the way over here. There you go. Yep. Yep. And then just keep coming through. Like keep trying to drive your head to the other side of him. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Keep going. Keep going. All the way. There it is. Yep, yep. Perfect. Right? Does that concept make sense? I know it's a lot. 2 months there's a lot of technique there for 2 months. So try not to get stacked on your head so much. Yep, yep. You got to try to stay on that rounded part of your back. Now pinch your knees. Yep. Slowly get the armbar finish. Tap. Now let him roll. Yep. Now ask ourselves, how close is your butt to his arm right now? Right? So we got to figure out how to tighten that up. Not that you can't get the armbar right there, because you can, but on a younger, flexible kid, right? You're going to have to 2-on-1 that arm, and don't be afraid if that elbow slipped out and they knocked over. 2-on-1 it, pull it up, fall back down, right? Don't just crank on the arm, which is what everyone does. Sit back up, feed the arm up, then you know you're getting the armbar. Instead of what everyone does, which is like, oh, the elbow's slipping out, you know the elbow's slipping out, but you keep trying to contain and finish the position. What is it? Is it 15 minutes? Is that when it goes to the no-gi? Now, ask yourself, hold on real quick. Look at where your butt is, right? You want to try to make sure that scoot your butt back towards her head, okay? And then ask yourself how you can kind of do that next time, because you are a little bit high, and I almost want my butt like on their ear because then I know that I'm going to have the arm controlled. Make sense? All right, now she's going to forward roll, because here's where you're going to see the big mistake. Look at how far away your butt is from her shoulder. Now, scoot your butt all the way to her ear. Okay? Now you're going to make sure that you have 100% control of the arm. That's all it is. So as you go under that, if your butt scoots away, as she rolls, your butt's going to scoot away more, and each inch is going to make it more and more possible for her to escape and you not to control. So just tighten that thing up a little bit as you're doing that. Try to allow yourself to roll deeper under her, and think about trying to keep your butt as close to her head as possible. All right? Now, underhook with your right arm, underhook his leg. Yep, and now just roll him over. And then sit up. Yes. Sit up, there you go. Now pinch the knees, and then you don't have to necessarily finish the armbar, but go backwards and see if his arm's laying on you, or if there's that 4 inches that you could pull on the arm. Does that make sense? So, you're going to pick 5 details that stuck out to you that you really feel like you can apply every time when you're live rolling, even if it would help you on your defense too. Think about like, okay, I understand now when somebody arm bars me that I can't allow them to do this with their hips or that with their hips.
So I learned how important framing on my own legs to keep them from stacking me is. Like just pushing on my knees and pushing on my legs when they get too high or try to pressure me. Derek showed me like controlling the wrist and pushing whichever way will finish the arm bar. Instead of like using your hips and everything, you just grab the wrist and push it this way, or whichever way their elbow is. If you don't set it up 100% and be confident, they're gonna just pull it out, up the elbow out. So when you shoot for the arm bar, you better make sure everything's tight, make sure everything's 100%. I need to learn more grips and setups for the gi. I feel like I was using my no-gi stuff and a lot of it wasn't working. That goes into my 5th thing. The no-gi setups I use don't exactly work in the gi without slight modifications or grip changes or something.
Cool. So real quick, what I liked about that, right? I know what Derek told you, right? Like I know in my heart all these details because I've learned all these details. Manipulate the wrist, do this, do that, right? But somebody in here might not. And I can't tell you every detail. We've learned today that 3 hours isn't going to be enough to master all this, okay? But because you opened up and spoke what stood out to you, if that clicked with one other person in here, right, you guys are going to be able to improve yourself, not because I forgot that detail, essentially. Make sense? So.
First thing was just engaging the calves like that. I've never really thought about that. I've always thought about clamping with the hamstrings, but not with my calves. I've never even thought about that, so that was a nice little detail. Another thing was being lazy with the leg that's under the armpit. Sometimes I let that come down too far, and it doesn't really have much control. So whenever I adjusted that and brought the leg up higher, that had a big effect on the control. The shaving the face, I think that's really good because whenever I'm going for an armbar in the guard, I tend to swing too wide, and my leg usually gets caught. That's 3. And 4 is kind of the same thing with the legs under the armpit, using my legs to make the angle by moving them with my legs and bumping, and or not just bumping, but using my legs to create that angle while also using them to keep their posture. And then I can't even read my own handwriting.
I've been there so many times in my life. It was good though. So I like the concept, right? What he did, right? Pinching that knee on the inner, the knee that's on the inside, not the knee on the head, right? I emphasize that a little bit, but I'm glad that you brought that back up because that is crucial. We are lazy with that leg sometimes, and we let it kind of fall down towards the hip instead of pinching our knees and keeping that pressure the whole time. That was a good detail that I think can apply to everyone.
I got the flexing the feet thing is something I need to work on. I'm always pointing my toes, and I didn't even realize it. just that thumb in the collar grip is something I'm going to play with. Like I never really used that before. I know you're really successful with that, so I'm going to start looking at that. I can't read my just the idea of like the how you're talking about the arm in relation to the hips, like looking at it like when you're in the position, and a couple of things that I actually think probably apply to like the triangles too. You teach like the idea of like the self framing and the just like how I need to elevate my hips or something that I need to. I think they apply to triangles too, but also like with the arm bars.
Oh, just like everyone else in here, I got the point of the toes. Even having big legs, I feel like he could definitely tell a difference just from me doing that, even after I cramped. Another thing I noticed was just getting out, getting your arm free, just simply jackhammering it seemed to work extremely well, other than just trying to force it out all at once. Framing off of the legs or knees when they're stacking you seemed to be really effective. Nothing I've ever thought about. I've always tried to swap to belly down if anything. And then using that knee to kind of post on the hip and then to kind of lock the body in. Another thing that was just closed guard, something I don't do, so, and it seemed to be pretty effective and stayed pretty tight. And then the last one would just be that I had really good success with the elbow grip and then swiping it through with my leg.
Number one is engaging calves. I think that really helps. I never thought of that before. Two, like when I roll for the belly down arm bars, I think I'm trying to go too much over my head and I get stuck. So going down over the rounded part of my back's really made it easier. Three, I don't get my hips up nearly as high as I think I do. Like, I think I'm putting them up really high and they're not. So I need to focus on that. Picking up my knees more, no, locking my knees closer together really lets me use my hands for other things, like framing on my own legs. And using the behind the head grip, that's really handy. It's almost like a flower sweep, and I can use it to collect the arm instead of having to use both of my hands to control the arm. I think that's really handy.
I found that creating a good angle when you showed us how to turn sideways a little bit more, especially my shorter legs, for getting a good angle, be able to lock down my my calves over the shoulders and stuff and pointing the toes. Lifting the hips up off the floor. Again, I'm one of the guys that keep them flat. It's a big difference when you keep them up in the air. Keeping the elbow to the belly, keeping control of the arm so they can't pull it out as easy. I also found with that, when you're trying to stack them so much to get that arm back out, it's easier if I twist them like you would try to get out of a triangle choke. I found more, it was better to pull my elbow back out that way instead of trying to muscle it out. Not swinging the legs around, so they mentioned about grinding across the face and the side of the head. Because when you swing the leg around, it's hooking it and capturing it, and pointing the toes forward and using the calves help create more pressure.
I did have, for one, the toes for more pressure, but since we've heard that one a couple times, one that I haven't heard yet is so like the arm that's getting arm barred. Don't be lazy with that one. So like as long as I can get that elbow off the belly button, right, and then I can grab into the gi to pull in, right, so my opponent isn't fully extending my arm out. If I can pull that in and it frees up the opposite hand, the frame or whatever, so like that, I think that's a good one. Keeping the hips close at all times. Keeping the hips down to create pressure until you're ready to finish, and then pop the hips up underneath the elbow. I have trouble rolling under opponents because of my back, so that's important for me to know. And then always making the connections, like we make the connection with the hand and the elbow and keeping knee and elbow and stuff, but you can make connections with your legs too. So I thought it was really important when Chad was connecting this foot to this knee to make that extra connection to strengthen the body. So just little things like that's really important.
the importance of doing different grips, flexing the feet, like everybody said, the framing with the arms, using the front leg to bite down on neck and control the posture was something I found really important, and that to think, instead of focusing so much on getting to the submission and rushing that, to every second you can hold the position is longer you have to finish the submission. Keeping your butt on their ear, like keeping it really tight with no space, and that you could possibly even armbar without using your hips if you have that tightness there.
I found that pinching your legs really helped me like stay controlled, and like grabbing the collar, the elbow, or the wrist, like had different effects for me on how I got to the armbar. I never saw that like going inverted would get me to an armbar. I learned to stay tight, and that space can happen very easily if you don't stay tight, and that it's harder to scoot back in whenever there's space.
Good deal. I did the setup like this before, right? Now I'm gonna do the setup pinch right above the elbow here, okay? And then even work on concepts where you're like, okay, get your arm free, right? So just get your arm free right now, right? Again, it goes back to that concept of like, if they can't get their arm free, or does it take 10 seconds for them to get their arm free? Because if it takes 10 seconds, it's giving me the opportunity to actually start setting up submissions. But if I go like this and Derek fights now, well, now you're sitting here and you're not getting anywhere, right? So the better thing that you can do in your training is setting up grips where you feel comfortable and then setting it live from here instead of sitting here and doing this and wondering why you're not getting anything. Because now I have more confidence in actually controlling this arm because I practice with this. This is what Ian's really strong at, which is the arm drag, right? This is your bread and butter. One of the best arm drags I've ever seen in the game. So, not even kidding. He got me stuck there so many times. All right? So, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna go here, right? As soon as he pulls the arm out, I'm shifting, okay? Shift, drop, hook the head, okay? What's nice about this hook in the head is no matter what, if Derek tries to drive into me, right, I can start to come over this way, right? If he drives into me, like I can hook this way, here, okay? So this is nice. Here, connect. They don't ever expect you to come around with the armbar on that side, okay? So you might have to figure out a way that's gonna work for you to do that. So, boom, throw it, push him, right? If you need the space because you feel like, oh, I'm stuck here and I can't turn, right? Push him away, drop the foot down, right? Then you have the option 1 of going belly down, option 2 of coming back into him, right? Look how high the elbow is. So, just look at that concept and see what works best for your body type with doing that arm bar, okay? But make sure, okay, as Derek pulls this arm out, okay, if you feel like you're not flexible and the knees here are uncomfortable, push him away, turn, drop this, hook this, okay? This is the frame to determine how much I'm gonna let him stack me, okay? Now I'm holding his arm. Now I can try to, like, some people like to turn over. They'll, like, Cole Bait will hold onto this arm. He'll drive into him, and then boom, he'll go in the arm bar right here, right? Or I don't have that flexibility, but I have the leg hook. So now I'll come under the arm, connect here. Again, look at my hips, they're not on the ground, right? Have the elbow, I have everything contained, okay? So, Play with that static drilling back and forth for a little bit. Feel that, you know, you need to be going from one attack to the next attack, not just, oh, they pulled the arm out, now they're cutting the angle and smashing me and I'm in side control, right? It's they're pulling the arm out, I'm going to the next attack. Even from there, when that fails, you can start going to the omoplata. You can go for the triangles. So you need to see what the next path is to have an option A, B, C instead of just that failed and now I'm screwed. All right, so always have an option B. All right, let's go work on that. Drop that knee to the mat, yep. Hook that head, because that head's gonna control that posture too. Then we decide where we wanna go from it. Take your hand and underhook his other shoulder. Yep, pull yourself that way, yep, there you go. Try not to let go of that hand next time, but yeah, you get the point, right? Now start to drive your hips in, tap. We have to figure out how to get the arm captured from top position. We've landed in side control, whatever the case is, their elbows are in, they're framing, right? We're having issues here. So the big thing that I like to do is I like to scoot backwards and then go forward, okay? There's a couple different ways that I can do this. Sometimes I can club the head and I can do it. Sometimes I'm like framing on the neck, framing on the jaw, right? Whatever it is that's gonna try to keep them flat, and that maintaining differently changes. I can't just do the same thing depending on what his reactions are. But what I want to think about doing is I want to walk my hips, right? So I connect my hip to Derek, and then I want to walk my hips backwards, okay? Sometimes I have to go back to go forward. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here trying to drive forward on Derek, and I'm not getting anywhere, essentially, okay? And I want to get his arm stuck. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to walk my hips backwards, then I'm going to slide my leg up. Now I have his arm caught. And now I want to make sure I contain that arm and he doesn't get it back. Okay? So when I slide up, now I'm here like this, right? I have an underhook and I have his arm trapped in there. Does that make sense? Okay? So from here, now what I want to think about doing is I'm going to either step like knee on belly, right? And I'm going to start to come up and I'll start to trap this arm just like this. Okay? Like I want where he has his arm pinched and he can't get it back. Okay? So now when I get up, it's here. It's stuck the whole time. Okay? So I can slap this leg over and then I can start to sit back and throw this leg over. Right? The whole time. You felt like that arm was stuck in there?
Yep.
Okay? What's nice is when it's stuck back here like this and I fall back, it's super tight. Okay, so the one thing I want you guys to think about doing, okay, is you're here in side control, go backwards, capture the arm, okay? Then I'll get that arm captured a lot and I'll step over here for like the triangle, right? I'll pin the arm over here, I'll sit on it just like this, okay? Because if I have the arm captured like this, even if Derek starts coming up into me, I've done this before, where his arm's still stuck in there. Okay, then I can pull the head, go to the triangle. Then I can scoot over to the side and pinch the knee up. So all these are just like little entries. So instead of just trying to go forward and trying to pull this arm up, right? Take your body and go backwards. Sometimes I'll pop this leg up, right? So I'll use my knees to move him up, okay? Make sense? So then I'll come over to knee on belly. I'll start to underhook here. He'll get the arm free. I'll step over, and then I'll come into this side. So we're still looking for the arm bars on both sides. That's why I like to get both arms trapped the best way that I can. Okay, so we're here, his elbows are in, push him backwards, right? I feel like I can't get, he's controlling this hip, but he's not controlling this hip. But I just want to get that arm trapped. Okay, once I have the arm trapped, here, now pinch it. See where I put my foot? Right? His arm is stuck under here. Okay? Now when I do that, I have to make sure that I'm doing something with this side. Because if Derek comes up into me, right, boom, he comes up into me, boom, omoplata, right? I have the pinch, I just have to be smart with the pinch, okay? So the triangles will be there, the arm bars will be there, the omoplatas will be there, but I have to make sure that arm doesn't just slide out. So, and that's worst case scenario. That's because I'm being lazy and I wasn't paying attention to him coming up and I just let him come up on top of me, right? But if I was paying attention, I would have been blocking this arm, blocking this side. So, we're here, right? We're gonna slide under. We're gonna get this caught in here, okay? Once I get it caught in here, I'm putting my body on it, just like this. Get your arm out. Okay? So, now, only way he can come up is if he can get this arm to come in and to start to come up. So come up, okay? Right? You see the space? Can you see the omoplata? Right? Right here. So that's if you fail to maintain what you should have maintained. Don't just let somebody come up on top of you and then reset the whole thing. But you guys understand it's no points. If Derek comes up on top of me, I didn't lose any points because it's a reversal. So don't look at it as like I'm losing now. Just understand you screwed up and you didn't maintain what you should maintain. Okay? So try getting this position right here. Okay? And then maintaining this arm. All right? I like to step on this arm if you can do this. Okay? I like to step on this arm. Can't do this. 27-year-old kids.
He's probably never tried it before.
Have you ever tried it? Okay. Now, once I have this, pull. Right? This is tight. So all I'm doing is literally going from here. I took the pressure off Derek's shoulder because it's a lot, and I'm pinching here.
If you guys notice, my elbow is back behind his hips. He's not on his hips, it's back behind.
So if anything fails, triangle, right? Or fall this way, traditional arm bar. Okay? So work on just going down to the hips. I'll run the hips down. Sometimes I'll pick it up, get the arm stuck in here. Okay? Then take your body and trap the arm with this. Okay? Maintaining and controlling this. Derek, come up. Right? So, now Derek, roll back down. So, whole time I have my hands to fight, to move, to defend. Okay? So, sorry, buddy.
That's all good.
All right, let's work on that concept. Getting that one arm trapped, then we'll work on getting the arm on the other side. We'll do one more journal, and then I want you guys to spend the last part of it drilling the parts that you liked to build it into your muscle memory. And what I mean by that is don't drill what I showed you, drill what you're going to actually apply in your game. Okay? And that's not to say like in a couple months some of these things might click with you and you might start using them a lot. But right now, drill the 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you're like, man, I really like that. That felt really comfortable for my body. I can start hitting that. And then you're going to drill that for like 5 minutes. Then your partner's going to pick what they liked and they're going to drill it for 5 minutes. So it really like sticks in your brain. Okay? So Ian, real quick. The last one that I just want to work on is we're here. I want to think about like if they're framing here, okay? I want to dive over the top. I want to underhook and I want to clamp where my elbow is going into the sternum and I'm pulling him up on his side. Okay? So this takes a while to understand, but if someone's framing on you, cut in, catch, right? Like you're Kimuring them and their arm can't just circle out of this. Okay? You want to keep this pressure like you're going to arm bar him like this. Shoulder lock him, Kimura him. Okay? Now I'm going to step over. I'm going to turn and I'm going to come right into here, right? Now, what I want to think about doing is the knees, again, are pinching, right? I like this foot coming under the shoulder and lifting his shoulder off the ground, okay? It's not like I'm sitting here, like I'm trying to take my toes, lift his shoulder up. This one is coming under here. And now I'm shaving back. If Ian starts to turn his thumb upside down to hitchhiker, right? Then I'm arm barring him this way. Okay? I'm going whatever way. If his arm's upside down, I'm going this way. Okay? If his arm's this way, I'm going this way. I'm going whatever way is the opposite of his thumb. So arm bar him. Does that make sense? So I want you guys to work on these two things. Cutting under, catching this arm like this. Okay? Stepping over, trapping, turning this foot under the armpit. Knee, pinching, shaving, 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 boom. Okay? Then just manipulate their arm wherever you need to get it to pop. Okay? Thumbs this way. I don't want to be attacking his arm like this. I just want to attack his arm this way. Okay? So work on that one. Then I want to work on if you guys are landing in this arm bar right here. Okay? Like traditional arm bar top control. Okay? This is going to be your highest success arm bar rate that you'll ever have at finishing somebody when they're here in this position. Locking your feet, keeping their shoulders together. Okay? Grab their legs, pull their legs to you, trap their butt. Okay? I'm still keeping his elbow glued to my body. That's all I care about. I don't want to attack the arm. He's grabbing his hands. I can't break him, whatever the grip is, okay? So what I want to do is I want to take my foot and I want to pull myself up right on Ian, okay? Now my hip is sitting right on his sternum. That way, my head's over here. I'll take the pressure off as much as I can, okay? And then I'm going to start to go forward and put the foot right here and extend in.
Man, how much do you weigh?
130, I know.
Does not feel like it.
So the thing I don't like about this finish on this armbar is as soon as he frees his arm, he's going to try to stack me. He's going to come up on top of me, right? So I like when I get to these positions, these two things are going to be the last thing that we're going to go over for the day. I like when I get to this position to figure out how to generate as much pressure on him as possible so that he can't come up on top of me. Okay? So when I pull his legs to me and I connect here like this, right? I make sure that I have the elbow, I'm here, and I pull myself up like an S mount. Okay? I want my hip sitting on his chest. Okay? Then my shin goes over the neck, even if they're still holding their arm. It's so brutal once you start putting your hips into it. So those are one of my yeah. Make sense? Work on both of those concepts, sorry. It is a lot of, and that's me trying to be nice. So there's so much more pressure that can be done to somebody if you wanted. All right? So let's play with those two concepts for the last part of the day. Then drill a couple things that you really like that stuck out to you. Circle, yep, and catch. And now pull up. There we go. Right? Now, step over. Circle, pinch the knees. Remember, so be active here. Scooping, pinching, right? Now try to do it with one hand. So the hand, okay, behind there can work too, that's fine. Or let's bring it back to our chest, right? The one hand that we had, that we started with, that like turned and spun, okay? Try to put that to your chest, like get wrist to wrist with her. Okay? And then use your body to turn the wrist. Just the big thing is, whether you get really deep or whatever the case is, make sure she can't circle her arm back in front of you. If she can do this, everything's going to be lost. If I'm here and she tries to go back in front of me, right, I still have the arm. As long as I can control the arm, I can do the arm bar, right? This is the arm that's basing, blocking, whatever the case is, right? This is my free arm to do what I need to do. This is my arm bar arm, right? So when I'm falling back, see how this is shaving, shaving, shaving. See where she tapped? Now turn the thumb. See how she's gonna tap here? She's gonna tap here, right? I'm controlling her arm by moving it, okay? So think about that. Wherever her thumb's moving, I can shave my own wrist to manipulate and then drive my hips whatever way I need to finish. Okay? Was it worth the time, you think? Is that the most details you've ever seen in a seminar? I want to do more of these mastery classes. I want to build them, you know? All right. What's up? It sucks, right? I've had so much success with that armbar. What's up? Is he trying to hook the arm and swim? Okay, so go in front of his arm with your left arm. Nope, in front. And like you're gonna go around it. Like you're gonna go around and then cut it under. So when I do this armbar, this is my favorite, one of my favorite armbars to do, right? If Ian's gable gripping his hands and I can't break that to save my life, okay? I've got a couple different options to work on it, right? A lot of people don't realize that like I can drop this way and then I can start to like Kimura his hands straight to the ceiling. That's a super bad one that people don't expect, right? Another one is all I need to do, right? I was here like this, okay? Got two options. Fall down, push my leg under, reverse triangle, right? Now I can start to pin his arm down and I can start to get the Kimura right here, right? Or I can reach up and I can start to get the Kimura here or the reverse triangle here. Or you can start to go for wrist locks. Do that again. So anytime, the reason I like this step over armbar, right? Like this foot's stuck under here. I've got this, I'm here, right? All I want to do is lift the guy up, shoot my leg behind him like it's going to be a pillow, right? Lock. So, One more time? Yeah, so you just think about like this. Foot's under, right? Lift up, shoot under. So now if I want the finish, grab the elbow, pull it in, Kimura, right? Or depending on my flexibility, I can come up and now I can start to. What did you think about the mastery class? And do you feel like it was worth your money? And do you feel like it was worth your time to come down? And what was like a big takeaway for you?
It was definitely worth my time and my money. I feel like the biggest takeaway was keeping everything tight, like pinching your knees really tight, using your calves to crush the posture, and it frees up my hands to kind of maybe even a little hand fight a little in that position, keep my frames, that way I don't get stacked. So just keeping everything really tight and working towards that was the biggest takeaway.
Awesome. I appreciate you coming down.
Well, thank you.
Do you feel like it was worth your time and your investment to come today? And what was one of the biggest takeaways that you had about this mastery class?
Yeah, absolutely. Armbars are my biggest thing. Like I focus on armbars a lot, and they're my highest submission rate in MMA fights and submission tournaments. But I came here today thinking I was going to learn maybe one or two things, but I honestly took away 5, 10, maybe even 15 things. Even though I don't remember tomorrow, they'll implement in my training in the next few months. But it was definitely worth my time. And
do you feel like it was worth your time and investment to come today? And what do you feel like your biggest takeaway that you can apply to your game will be now that you've done this?
Yes, this was definitely worth my time. Wait, what was the second question?
What was the biggest takeaway that you feel like you can apply to your game for the future?
Probably sliding my knee under their arm and getting to the arm bar from that.
What do you feel like the biggest takeaway that you'll take that you can apply to your game?
It was a lot of information, so yes, it was very worthwhile. Probably the biggest thing was opening up different ideas of things to do in side control to get to arm bars, from whether you're stepping over or whether you're switching your hips to get into that position. I like learning about those. We'll use those a lot.
Cool. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Do you feel like it was worth your time and investment to come today? And what do you feel like is the biggest thing that you'll take away that you can start applying to your game for the future?
Absolutely, Professor. It's about a 3-hour drive for us, but what I really found here today is I got a toolbox full of a lot of new ideas, and you kind of know the basics, but it's all the little things that put it all together. The spices like you put in the spaghetti that make it work, so you fine-tune a lot of little things for the arm bars, make it powerful. I just thought a lot of good knowledge here today. Drill, drill, drill is something that I learned here today more than anything. Probably got to do it over and over and over, and fix the little things. I think the big things. So I appreciate the class. It was well worth it.
And what do you think your favorite arm bar that you'll start trying to work on and hit in the future in training room or in competition? Like top arm bar, bottom arm bar, one of the things that really stuck out to you?
I like the bottom arm bar where you switch from one to the other. When they pull it, then you catch the other arm bar.
Yeah?
I really like that. That's something I want to work on a lot.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.